Hello, all YouTube viewers. This is world famous folk artist Dennis Ramsey coming at you. I live at 27 Canaan, Canaan Avenue, Apartment B, Kempville, Yellow House, White Trim. Come buy some folk art paintings or some abstract art paintings. Call me at 902-365-5044. Also subscribe to all my videos on the YouTube channel, Dennis Ramsey. Anyhows, I want to do this video today. I want to talk about brain transplants. That's right, brain transplants. Anyhows, in the country of Germany, they've tried out 6 or 7 brain transplants operation. So far, everybody has died on the table. No survivors, everybody's died. They went flatline. Now, they're running into 3 problems here, and I'll explain what they are. Okay, your brain is a very complicated organ. The 2 organs in the body that are the most complicated are your heart and your brain. So when you take a brain and put it into somebody's head, that's half of the battle. The other half is you got to hook up the stem cells of the brain to your spinal cord stems. That's where they're running into problems. They can't hook up the stems. So they're getting it half right. They put the brain into the head. That goes good. But when they hook up the stems, they don't hook up. They can't hook up the stem cells to the spinal cord stems. So, realistically speaking, our medicine is not advanced enough to do a brain transplant. We could be 20 to 30 years away from that. Meaning in the future, it might be possible, but in 2018, it ain't going to happen. Now, we've been lucky. We can do heart transplants, liver transplants, kidney transplants. There's 2 organs in our body they've been unsuccessful in transplanting. One of them is the pancreas, and the other one is the brain. The brain was the most complicated because you got to hook up the stem cells to your spinal cord stems. And there's no way they can mash them together or hook them up together. Now, I'm not saying that it ain't possible in the future. I'm not saying that. Someday that might be possible. But you have to sew the stem cells into your spinal cord stems. And they ain't been successful in hooking them up. So far, the 6 individuals have died on the table, flatline dead, in the Germany operating room. Anyhow, someday in the future, they might be able to do a brain transplant. But I think that medicine is at least 20 years away, possibly 30 or 40. Our medicine technology is not that good yet. Some organs we've had success with are the heart, the liver, the kidneys, but the pancreas and the brain, we haven't been able to transplant them yet. But I think of Dr. Frankenstein when he sent Igor to the college to get a brain to transplant in the Frankenstein monster. Anyhow, Igor was rushing across the floor. He dropped the jar of brain. It was a good brain, you know, a normal brain, and it fell on the floor. So he went back, got the abnormal brain, and transplanted that into Dr. Frankenstein's monster, and it worked. But that's only fantasy, and that's only make-believe. In reality, there's no way you can transplant a brain, because there's no way you can hook up the stems. Now, your brain has stem cells that have to be hooked up to your spinal cord stems. And there's no way you can do it. You have to sew them together, And then you got to get blood flow through the stems for that brain to work properly. Now, here's 3 strikes against you. First, you got to get circulation of the blood through the stems, going up to the brain and circulating and working right. That's the first step. Number 2, they have to be sewed together properly, and they have to have circulation of the blood going through the stems up to your brain. And so far, they've been unsuccessful in doing that. So far, 6 people have died on the table, just like guinea pigs. Dead meat, deep 6, the groundhogs are bringing the mail. So, realistically speaking, and I use that word, realistically speaking, in 2018, there's no way we can do a brain transplant. Ain't gonna happen. There's no way. We don't have that kind of technology. Not yet. Now, in 20 years from now, maybe 30 years, maybe even 5 years from now, we might have that technology. But anyhow, it's not gonna happen. Now, there might be another way to do this operation, and I'm thinking realistically. There might be another way. And have your shock electrical paddles on hand, and put the brain into the head, and sew the stem cells together, get the blood flow through the stem cells into the brain, then stop the heart for, say 7-8 minutes, then restart it with the paddles, the electrode paddles, and then get the blood flow shooting up through the stems into the brain. And that's possible. That might work. But the person has to be dead for 7 to 10 minutes. Then you've got to restart the heart and get the blood flow going through the stems up into the brain. So the question is that dangerous? Oh yeah, very dangerous. The person, you might not be able to revive them, for one. You may not get their heart started. That's number 1. And number 2, the other danger of that operation is sewing the brain stems and the cells in the spinal cord. The stems have to be sewed together perfect. They got to be right. And if you get a blood clot, the person dies just like that, just like that. Blood clots you got to be worried about. So you'd have to put in some thinners for the blood before you do the operation, so you don't get a blood clot. The other thing you got to look at, who's going to sew the stem cells properly from the brain to your spinal stem cells. It has to be sewed properly. And then you have to get the flow of the blood shooting up to your brain, and you got to restart the heart. So there's only one way to do it. Only one way. Okay, the person's going to have to be dead for 7 to 10 minutes. You keep the electrode paddles, because you're going to have to restart their heart. So what you got to do is you sew the stem cells of the brain to the spinal cord stems. You sew that. Then you get the blood flowing, and then you restart the heart. And that may take 7 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever it takes. Then when the heart's pounding, the blood will shoot through the stems into the brain, and the person will be fine. You'll successfully transplanted the brain. But there's 2 or 3 worries here, and I'll explain. Number 1 worry is getting the stem cells sewed together properly with the spinal cord stems. It has to be sewed properly. Number 2, the second worry is you got to restart the person's heart. And you got a window of 7 minutes to 10 minutes to revive them. And if you fuck up, you don't revive them, then they're dead, automatically dead. But if you restart the heart, and the blood flow shoots through the stems into the brain, and you can bring them back to life. Yes, it is playing Dr. Frankenstein. It's definitely doing that. But the danger is the person probably will die. Meaning they will die. You take the brain, you put it into the head, you sew the stem cells to the other stem cells. It has to be sewed properly. Then you restart the person's heart. That may take 7 minutes or 10 minutes. You get the blood flowing through the stems into the brain, and then you sew the person up. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, that can't be done. Yes, it could be done, but you'd have to have good surgeons, I mean really good surgeons. Ones that can sew up the stem cells and connect them together. You gotta have a good surgeon. The other thing you gotta have is a heart specialist to restart that person's heart and get the blood shooting through the stem cells back into the brain. But before you do the operation, you gotta get the person on blood thinners so the blood's gonna flow properly. So before they ever get this operation, get them on a diet of blood thinners for a week before the operation so the blood is thin. Take the brain, you put it in the head, you attach the stem cells, you sew them together with the spinal cord stem cells. That's the first step. Okay, the heart will be stopped for 7 to 10 minutes, at least, maybe longer. Then you got to restart it with electrical paddles and get the blood flowing from the stem cells into the brain. It can be done. You're playing Russian roulette. There is that danger the person may have a stroke and die on the table. Then there's also the possibility you might not be able to restart the heart, and they're dead anyhow. And the other problem is the stem cells have to be sewed together properly, so you get the right blood flow into the brain. So the question is, you need 3 good surgeons. You need a brain transplant person doing the brain transplant surgery. Then you need another surgeon or a cardiologist that can restart the heart. Then you need a third surgeon to sew the person up. So you need 3 people. The first doctor has to transplant the brain. Then the second person hooks up the stem cells, sews them together. Then the third person restarts the heart and gets the blood flowing. And then you sew the person up and they're fine. And that'd be the only way you could ever do a brain transplant. I thought about it, and I looked at every way that was possible. But you have to put the brain in the head first, sew up the stem cells together with the spinal cord stems. That has to be sewed up properly. Then you have the cardiologist restarting the heart. That may take 7 to 10 minutes. Might get lucky. You might get the heart started in 2 minutes. Who knows? Then when you get the blood flowing properly, sew the person out. Now, what's the danger of this operation? There's a couple of them. Person could bleed to death right on the table. That's number 1. Second danger, you don't hook up the stem cells properly and sew them together properly. And the third danger is you may not be able to restart the heart. And the person's dead anyhow, so they're dead meat, deep 6. Groundhogs will be bringing their mail. So, a brain transplant is possible if you got the good surgeons. You need a brain doctor, a cardiologist, a heart doctor, and then you need somebody to sew them up properly. So, the only way I can see it being done is you have to have 3 good surgeons. 3. You have to have the brain doctor, the heart doctor, and the person that sews the person up. And they all got to work within minutes. Split seconds, if you will. There's not a minute to waste. Now, if you can't, with that fucking mic cut out, but anyhow, I got it back. If you can't restart the heart, they're dead anyhow. And if you don't sew the stems together with the spinal cord stems properly, they're dead too. So, what's the danger of this operation? Well, number 1, you may not be able to restart the heart. Number 2, they might not sew the stems properly together. And number 3, it's all timing. You gotta beat the clock. Beat the clock. You might have 7 minutes or 10 minutes to get it all done properly. Anyhow, that's my opinion. I hope you like this video about brain transplants. Anyhow, this fucking mic has been fucking up on me all day. And it cuts in and out, so I gotta get another mic sometime, which I will. And anyhow, so I hope you like this short video on brain transplants. Buy my paintings in 2018, and my time is up. Have a nice day.